Hey guys, what's going on? It's King Clutch here, and today guys, we're back in the NBA 2K20. We're going to be experimenting with this demo. Now real quick guys, in today's video, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be explaining how I feel like you guys can make the best two-way build in the game. Now real quick, I just got to say this. 2K completely killed small forwards. I was planning on making a 6'7", 6'8", you know, small forward. I was leaning towards 6'8", but the way 2K had this demo work out is the small forwards, it's not worth making a small forward because the stats on the small forward are completely awful. So what I want to be talking to you guys about is how I feel that you can make the best two-way, because I kind of wanted to make a 3-and-D type small forward, you know, kind of similar to Paul George, be able to play some good defense as well as dribble the ball, shoot the ball, do all that kind of stuff. So what I decided, you can make this build at either point guard or shooting guard. It doesn't matter. You can go either way. Either way it works. But for this, I'm going to go with the shooting and the defending for the majority of the skill breakdown. And guys, real quick, I just want to say, I know people are talking about making custom pies. I do not want that. That will be bad because then everyone's going to have that 6'11" power forward and be able to shoot and dribble and dunk. It's going to be ridiculous. Build for the pie charts. I personally went with the most speed one. You can go with the one that has the most vertical if you would like, or you could go with the average one. Those are the ones I would go with. Because those are all important stats. Now for the actual potential of this build, so shooting, you know, driving dunk, the pass accuracy, the ball handling, the perimeter defense, lateral quickness, steals, you know, all the things that, you know, most builds you're going to need regardless. And then the rest of these points I kind of played with and put how I felt like would be the best to give me the most amount of badges. Now you can definitely play with these, like once you get your attributes, the things that you for sure want to where you'd like to have them, you can play with them to try to give yourself the most amount of badges possible. That's what I was doing, was trying to give myself the most badges that I can give myself with the build that I have, because there's ways you can do it, and certain attributes you can put up and down to give yourself more badges depending on what you do. Because like this, I was experimenting with these defensive points to see if I could get myself more defensive badges. If I, you know, mixed them around, if I maxed out my defensive rebounding, it gave me a total of 18 badges. Whereas if I did something else, it'd give me 16 or 17. So like here, if I tried splitting it between interior defense, I didn't get as many. Even if I added them to something else, I still would not end up getting 18 badges. And I was messing around with the shooting badges to see how many shooting badges I could get total, if it was worth it, or if I could, you know, end up getting more badges to get over that cusp and get that badge on my player. And it was like that for pretty much every stat. So different stats are going to affect the amount of badges you can get. So just keep that in mind when you're building these players. Like, why would I max out my post hook when it only gives me two or three other finishing badges when I can max out defensive rebounding and get 7 defending badges for that? I might as well do it. Even though the stat to me doesn't really matter, it gives me that extra 7 badges. That's an extra Hall of Fame badge I can have, an extra gold badge I can have. It's just really, really beneficial to me. So this is what I ended up sticking with for the most part, something similar to this. And again, I'm just showing you when taking that away, you get those badges there. So the other thing with this build is you can definitely make this build at the shooting guard position. I just did it at the point guard position because I felt like I tried playing around with them and upgrading them similarly, and I ended up getting more badges on the point guard version than the shooting guard version, and the stats were pretty much identical. There wasn't really anything different. I think the point guard had 1 higher speed, and the shooting guard version that I had one higher excel in vertical in the point guard player. I wanted to make a small forward, but 2K messed with the small forward so bad that it's not worth making a small forward this year. I was trying to figure it out, and I just couldn't because there wasn't a build that is somewhat decent. With the shooting stats to being somewhat decent, and again, for this here, you can go ahead and choose whatever body type you'd like. It doesn't really matter. I'm just going to go with built for a good, you know, overall defensive type build. Now for the height, guys, as I was saying, I wanted to make a small forward, but the way 2K has it this year is making small forwards is broken. You really cannot make a decent small forward build. So what I ended up doing is going with the max height for a point guard, which is 6'6". Now you can go 6'5", and you could put him at a shooting guard, make him 6'5" or 6'6". I would say either 6'5" or 6'6". I just did 6'6", and you can do this at shooting guard or point guard. It doesn't matter. But this was the only build that I found that had a somewhat decent, like, 3-and-D type player where your threes don't hurt too much and you're still big. If you're a 6'6" point guard, you're going to be bigger than every other guard because most people made 6'4" guards. Your lateral quickness is still at 80 roughly, and then your mid-range is an 80, your three-point shot would be a 79, and that's still a really good stat for a 6'6" player. I mean, you don't need much higher than a 75. Anything over a 75 for your shooting stats, you're fine. You can equip some badges on there and you'll be set. you don't gotta change anything else. After the 6'6" for the weight, I just ended up leaving the weight at 198 pounds. You can go ahead and experiment with that if you want, but I just left it in the middle. Now for the wingspan, you can either go T-Rex arms, give yourself a +2 shooting and a +1 in strength. Then guys, for me, for the wingspan, what I decided, I just left it in the middle. I didn't really touch anything. You can go for the more shooting, you can go for the more steals and the defending. It doesn't really make too much of a difference. I decided to leave it in the middle so that way my arms would be, you know, a decent size and I won't be getting bullied by having, you know, I can still be able to shoot and I'll have bigger arms than most people. And you're just a big guard. I mean, this build preferably would be better to be played as a 2 guard instead of a point guard. But if you're going to run it, put it as a point guard. Just if you're running rec, just make sure you have another guard with you, like a dribbler, you know, a pure playmaker, something like that, a play shot, something similar to that. That will give you a better chance at dribbling. I mean, this will definitely work as a guard, but I mean, as a main point guard, but I mean, you'd rather have someone that's a little bit quicker. I mean, this is a very good defensive build, and it's not slow for being 6'6". You know, you have 85 speed. That isn't bad. So you can't complain about that. One crazy thing about this build is for the takeover choices, you get 4 takeover choices. You can either pick a lock, a playmaking, spot up shooting, or slashing. Now these are 4 really, really good takeovers. You know, I decided to go up with the spot up shooter badge for the takeover. You can go ahead and pick whatever one you would like. I mean, this way it's fun. If one night you want to clamp people up, you can clamp people up. If you want to dribble one night, you can dribble. If you want to shoot, if you want to slash, you can do it all. You can pick whichever one you would like, and these are some good takeovers to definitely have. It doesn't make you as one-dimensional with the amount of things you can do. So I'm going to go with the sharpshooting takeover. And the player that we're getting put as is a perimeter lockdown with a sharpshooting takeover. We're getting reminded of Gilbert Arenas, Russell Westbrook, and John Wall. So you have a perimeter lockdown with a sharp takeover, guys. So that means you're able to shoot, and people aren't going to think you're going to be able to shoot when you're listed as a perimeter lock. And then for the overall rating, I decided to go with 99, because if you guys don't know, for the actual build of the game, 2K is allowing you to pick where your attribute points go and how high you want to put them for the actual level. So say you wanted to max out your stealing right away, you could put your steal up to an 82, your lateral quickness up to a 79, and then not touch your perimeter defense if you wanted. You can, you know, spend those attribute points on the upgrades as you want. It won't go with this bar. For my badges, for my finishing badges, I decided to put Contact Finisher on silver, Relentless on silver, Giant Slayer in case I get, you know, put up against some centers, and then Slithery Finisher just to help, again, finishing. Those are the finishing badges I decided to go with. And then for my playmaking badges, I want to click first step on gold, took ankle breaker up to gold, and then I ended up putting tight handles on bronze. So that's what I finished with for that. And then for the shooting, I had Deadeye on Hall of Fame, Range Extender on Hall of Fame, Difficult Shots on gold, Flexible Release and Green Machine both on silver. The Flexible Release, it like helps you get more greens, which is weird. So like I thought that was strange. But then for the defending badges, I got Clamps on Hall of Fame, Intimidator on Hall of Fame, Interceptor on gold, and then Brick Wall, which is going to act Bruiser this year. So you definitely don't want that if you have any sort of defensive build. That'll be nice to have. It'll help, you know, tire them out on silver, Pickpocket on silver, and Tireless Defender on silver. With these last 2 spots that I was just trying to decide where I wanted to put these or if I wanted to change anything. And again, that defensive leader badge would definitely be nice if you play in some Pro-Am. And then I put Chase Down on bronze, and then Pickpocket on gold is what I decided with for my badges for this build, guys. But this build overall, and also remember when you're going to test out your builds that you are choosing the jump shot, that you choose whatever jump shot you'd like. I think I went with Paul George. It doesn't really matter what jump shot you want to pick. But guys, this is a build that I feel like is a very, very good 2A build. You can make this at point guard or shooting guard. Now since 2K messed with the small forward so bad. But if they do fix the nerfing that they did to the small forwards, I will definitely be making a small forward. But this is the build I'm currently playing with. I'm going to experiment and see what else I come up with. But anyways, guys, it's been King Clutch here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Anyways, have a great rest of your day and peace out, guys. Thanks.